What's the most American thing ever that, if explained to a non-American, might just sound crazy? There is a place a short drive from my house that is a firearms military merchandise store in the front half of the building, and in the back half, just down a short hallway, is a BBQ restaurant. It's a magical place. The best chicken joints in the hood usually have bulletproof glass. When I was in Tennessee as an exchange student for a year, I was surprised by the team spirit of each high school. Like how there was a football game every Friday night and almost all of the school was there to cheer them on. That would never happen in my country. Warehouse type grocery stores. Costco. Super Saver. My great uncle from Australia would always take photos, and my Korean non-Seal friends thought this was crazy we'd have so much space for a grocery store. IDK if that's fitting here. But I simply don't get why the grading system is ABCDF. What happened to E? As a South African, what amazed me was the competitors call each other out in advertisements. I couldn't believe it at first, it seemed so unusual. Adverts for medication. You've got happy people and stuff in the ad, and then it may cause death. Fraternities. Sororities. Yeah, so we just join brother sisterhoods when we go off to college with secret rituals and traditions. Chicken fried steak. French guy who lived in NC for a while here. To me, the weirdest thing was all the advertisement for prescription drugs on TV, radio, and online. It's crazy waking up in the morning and suddenly, while you're having your morning coffee and cereals, and your TV starts spewing stuff about some random meds, like they're Tic Tacs you can just arbitrarily decide you need. The worst is honestly the mandatory side effect warning at the end of every ad. I nearly choked on my egg sandwich the first time that voice came up warning people about horrific stuff that could potentially happen if they took the drug. I have lived in quite a few countries around the world, and the US is the only place where I saw this. Edit. Wow. 11k upvotes for my first ever Reddit comment. Thank you y'all. As a Brit, what shocked me was learning about just how huge your college sports games are. A university, college football, soccer team game here might draw a crowd of a few hundred. A friend who went to the University of Texas told me their American football stadium seats 100,000. What the actual duck? I remember explaining to an Italian friend that in the US we can vote and own a gun and fight in a war at 18, but can't buy a beer, and he was completely at a loss for words. I think I will use this thread and ask something to you Americans. Are the movie stereotypes of cheerleaders and football players true? Do all schools have a football team with associated cheerleaders? And are the people who join them usually popular kids? I'm only right upstairs in Canada, but I've never even heard of a school that has cheerleaders. Also, what is a homecoming dance? Do you guys know what s'mores are? Edit. I get it. You've seen the Sandlet. You're killing me Smalls. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Apparently. Edit. I'm American. But I recently learned that much of the world finds PB&J to be an odd combination. Hospitals buy ad space on billboards. I've never left the country, but we must be the only country that has hospitals advertising like Burger King. Advertising prescription drugs to regular people on TV. It's okay to walk around with a gun, but not a beer. Edit. 40 of the 50 states do not require any license to carry a firearm openly. Walmart, you can get a haircut, buy a gun and ammo with your groceries. The age-old question of, are those firecrackers or gunshots? I'm from the NL and honestly I have many questions for the us. Most burning on though is why are your toilet stall doors so damn high above the ground? Play the national anthem at almost every event. Shooting a red sports car into space seemed like a pretty quintessentially American thing to do. Aerosol cheese. The +5 above speed limit. Still weirded out about refills and sizes of drinks specific to soda. The low bar to get a driver's license. Traveling between major cities, the distances are insane, especially just feeling completely alone in the middle of nowhere. Health insurance. Premiums. Deductibles. Co-insurance. Co-pays. Out-of-pocket maximums. In-network. etc. It's an insane amount of knowledge that you need to have to make a good decision about your health coverage. And no one teaches you any of this crap. You have to go and learn it yourself on the internet. I've visited the US a couple of times. I'm a South African Brit, and the TV adverts are like nothing I've ever experienced anywhere else. The crazy political adverts where they do nothing but insult the opposition. The medicine. Drug adverts. Good grief. Those lists of side effects. It makes the drug sound more dangerous than whatever it's meant to treat. My fiance's favorite though was a petrol advert. Gas. To you guys I guess. It made it sound as if filling your tank with their brand was the ticket to a better life. That advert had American flags everywhere. Bald eagles. And the best tagline in the world. Buy a tank full of freedom. That was a few years ago, and we still joke about going to get a tank full of freedom when we fill up our car. The first time I went shopping in US I realized, after the cashier explained to me, how taxes are not included in the price tag. To this day I'm not convinced as to why. The crazy amount of food you guys serve. Like, the French fries you serve as a side and large glass of Pepsi is enough to fill me up. Edit. Grammar. One of my Canadian friend told me that, back in 2003, when we, France, refused to take part in the war against Iraq, some Congress cafeterias and some restaurant in the USA renamed French fries and Freedom Fries. I think it's the most passive-aggressive and American thing you could have done. Plus, fries come from Belgium, not France. When purchasing an item, the listed price is actually not the amount you'll have to pay at checkout. It will be more. Proms and homecoming dances, I don't know if they are one and the same, or how many there are. How Americans make such a huge deal out of it, that pass around awards for whoever is the prettiest. The dance is the best. The whole thing just seems so bizarre and out of this world to a European, that I have to ask if any of you can explain in detail why they are the way that they are. Lol. We just organize with the teachers some school parties that are usually in big clubs once or twice a year, and they turn a blind eye on alcohol because you guys are also really strict on alcohol until you're 21. Another kinda odd thing, as when you guys are allowed to drink you just go all over the news in Mediterranean places for causing trouble. Their 5D Mayo celebrations. I have never met a Mexican who celebrates this holiday. Lol. Florida. I studied in Chicago for a month at 17. And I was so confused as to why all your bread was sweet. I get migraines if I eat too much sugar, and I basically lived off of chips, mac and cheese, and the salad bar in our accommodation. On the 4th of July I just ate a bowl of carrots dipped in ranch dressing as I didn't eat meat at the time. It still had enough sugar to knock me out. Also, your painkiller bottles are huge. I had to buy ibuprofen and the smallest bottle was like 100 pills. I haven't finished it yet, and that trip was 2 years ago. Do you guys in the US get paid holidays? We have weeks of paid holidays, not including the bank holidays. I saw someone saying that in the US they practically work perpetually for their company with no time off. How? Complimenting strangers. But I like it though. Edit. Okay, some of you have said that you received compliments in Europe too. I said this because it was a first big difference I've noticed visiting America. People there are usually very communicative and easy to talk to. I live in Slovakia and everyone just minds their own business here. I live in a right to hire state. That basically means that, with a few exceptions, my employer can fire me at any time without reason. With zero notice. It is possible to get a job with a contract, but those are rare. Unless you have a very high paying position. This is quite common in the USA from what a lawyer told me. I've read stories on this site of other places that are not like this. I always thought this was normal before. Edit 1. 3k. Upvotes. WTF, that's pretty cool. Edit 2. To those that think I was doing anything except answering the original question of this post. Surprise. I wasn't. Please stop with the broken record of it goes both ways and God forbid you can control your own business. I know these things. Not the point. Take your soapbox with you when you leave. Not an American. Brit. But when I watch live streaming Premier League on American channels, all legal of course, I honestly find the advertisements so strange. They're so aggressive. I don't know if that's the right word, but honestly it's a fun experience. The car adverts are the best. Edit. My first gold. Thanks a lot, kind stranger.